Hey guys, my name's Ben. I'm from London, and this is
Ken from the Philippines.
And we both work here at the Big Apple School in Novosibirsk. And today we're going to talk about phones, and we're going to introduce some words which will be useful to you in your daily life. What phone have you got, Ken?
Well, I've got my Samsung here.
And I've got my iPhone 5. Let's get started and let's listen to some interesting words. So, the first word we have for today is a phone which we keep at home.
Right.
In Russian, it's a стационарный телефон или городской телефон. Without revealing the word in English, we will reveal the word soon.
Right.
But what is this? How would you describe this?
Well, it's basically the type of, well, it's hard not to, mention it, but
yes.
The thing that you use to call other people. And shall I reveal it now?
Well, usually grandparents might still have this phone at home. It's basically a phone you have at home. It's not this kind of a phone over here. It's the physical phone that you keep at home.
And you cannot take with you.
You cannot take
else.
with you. Well, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Well, this phone is, do you want to reveal it?
Well, this is a landline telephone.
Yeah, landline telephone. You said you can't take landline telephones with you, but I remember when I was a teenager, I had a phone which, well, the next word is actually related to this. So
exactly.
The next word is the provod. How would you say, what is a provod?
Well, that would be cordless or wireless.
Well, yeah,
telephone.
Bezprovodnoy is cordless. So my landline telephone was a cordless phone, and I was able to take it outside with me. And this was before I had my own phone, and it made me feel like a big boy.
They were so cool then.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm not sure if they're still around because I haven't seen one in forever.
Yeah. Maybe if you own a business, you might still have a landline telephone. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a phone. A landline phone. Let us know if you do have one. But yeah. So what are these phones called? The phones that we have?
Well, these are, you can call them mobile phones.
Yep.
Or can also be called a cell phone or the complete one, cellular phone.
Yes. And by the way, guys, cell phone is American English.
Right.
Cell, I think, comes from the word the battery, doesn't it? So the battery cell. Whereas mobile phone, you can use this word definitely in England and pretty sure you can use this in America too. And people will understand. Well, there's another verb I want to introduce to you guys, which will definitely be useful if you live in England or America or in any English-speaking country. So when you have a mobile phone, well, you need to have money on your phone or else you're not going to be able to call anyone. So this verb is, let's just reveal it in English. So what would you say?
It's called top up your account or your phone.
Yes, so in Russian you would say something like пополнить счет мобильной сети. So to top up your phone, you need to know this. And in England, we have two, and I think in America too, you have two different types of phones. You have pay-as-you-go phones, which are phones which you top up. And then you have contract phones, which you pay a certain amount of money every single month to use. What do you have? Do you have a pay-as-you-go phone, or do you have a contract phone?
Well, in the Philippines, I had the second one, the contract phone.
Yes. And yeah, I almost always have had a contract phone. In England, they cost about, well, you can get good deals actually, like £10 a month. Mm-hmm. What about the Philippines? How much was your contract a month?
That was a long time ago. Can't even recall now.
Yeah. But in America, it's really expensive. But in Russia, really good prices here. Mm-hmm. There's something like 350 rubles a month.
More affordable.
Let us know how much you pay for your mobile every month. So now I want to introduce some useful verbs related to telephones. The first verb is actually probably, I would say, one of the most useful verbs that you could know. And in Russian, звонить, позвонить. So I mean, I think we should just say what these words are.
Of course,
so
that's to call, to phone, or to ring someone.
Yes, to ring is a more informal way of saying to call someone. To call is just the general mother word,
Exactly.
I'd say. And to phone is also a more general word as well.
That's right.
Yeah. And the next word is, well, in Russian, you would say созваниваться или созвониться. So this is also to call, but it's not just to call someone.
It's kind of like to inform somebody, earlier.
Yeah.
For some kind of an activity that, you may agree to do together later on. Yeah,
so the full word is to call someone before something or to call someone beforehand. Beforehand may be a little bit formal, not too formal.
Right.
But beforehand is a great word to know. And you also have the word afterwards as well, which is the opposite of beforehand.
Right.
Yeah. And then we have the Russian word дозвониться. So let's
in English, we simply say to get through someone.
Yeah, to get through to someone, exactly. Yeah, so you could, for example, we could say, hey, do you have a problem with your phone? I can't seem to get through to you.
Right.
Yeah, particularly if you live in an area with a bad connection, or if you live in the countryside.
Signal. Hey, есть сигнал.
And then we have перезвонить кому-нибудь. So,
say for instance, I'm busy right now, and so I'm unable to talk to you. So I'm going to call you back, or to call someone back.
Yeah, I'll call you back. So just give me 5 minutes. I'll call you back in 5 minutes when I get out of the shower.
So guys, the next word is what we call nabrat номер. Basically, this is how you do it. What am I doing, Ben?
All right, well, I'm just going to say what we say in English. It is to dial a number. So, dial. You can also use this as a phrasal verb. You could say to dial up.
Right.
To dial someone up.
Exactly.
Well. Or if you're just using the phone number, you can just say dial the phone number, to dial the phone number. Yeah, so, what's the next phrase?
The next one here in Russian, you say gudok.
Gudok. So the previous word was to dial a number. Gudok is actually, in English, we have a similar word. So this is the dialing tone.
Right.
It's the noise that the telephone...
That's what you hear, right? Yeah. So after you pick up the phone and then you try to dial a number, before that you hear this so-called gudok. Yeah,
exactly. So in England, we have a different dialing tone than in other countries. What I've found is in America and Russia, the dialing tone is actually almost the same. But in English, it's more...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, whereas in other countries, it's more or less the same. The next one, we have the Russian word принимать входящие звонки. Yeah. So this is when you...
to answer or to take an incoming call.
To take an incoming call. You can also say to accept an incoming call.
Right.
So, And then the next one we have is включить громкоговоритель. So that
basically is to put the phone on loudspeaker.
Yeah, loudspeaker. So sometimes the quality of the phone is not as good when you have it on the loudspeaker.
Right.
And sometimes it's better to have the phone right to your ear.
However, you do that because you want the other person next to you to hear it. Yeah?
Yeah.
And basically, I guess that's the main purpose of it.
I mean, I don't know, guys, do you prefer speaking on loudspeaker or do you prefer to put the phone right to your ear? Yeah. Apparently, there has been some studies that phones can cause all sorts of problems, some health problems.
Radiation, is that right?
Radiation, it can really mess you up.
Say what?
Steve Jobs apparently did not let his children have an iPhone.
Interesting.
So, let me know. Do you think baby iPhone 5 is safe for me? I don't know. I like the loudspeaker because it's more convenient.
Yeah.
And when I'm speaking to my parents or to people back at home, I just walk around the house on the loudspeaker.
And I guess much safer to do.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. The next word we have is оставаться на линии.
That would be to stay or hold the line.
Yeah, stay or hold the line. So let's say if you're on the phone with a business, they might say, wait a minute,
Right.
hold the line, stay on the line for a minute, we will get back to you.
That usually happens whenever you try to
Yeah.
talk to a customer service representative and, they want to
Yeah.
connect you to another person. So
Yeah.
you have to hold the line. in that
Exactly.
case.
So hold the line. They might say "Я вас соединю," which means, do you know what that means?
Unfortunately,
That's
not.
okay. So "Я вас соединю," соединить is to put someone through to something, to someone. So to connect someone to someone else.
Right.
Yeah. So they might say, "Hold the line. I will connect you to the technical department."
Right.
Yep. So the next word, what's the next word?
Well, the next one here is what we call missed call.
Yep, missed call. So in Russian, this is пропущенный вызов. This is when, as the word says.
So you missed the call. Perhaps you were busy at the time, and so you didn't know that somebody made a phone call to you.
Yes.
So you miss it. That's
Yes,
why
exactly.
missed call.
Yeah. And then the next word is something which happens accidentally. So случайный звонок с кармана.
Right. Or in English, we call that bum dial,
Yeah.
or it can also be called butt dial.
Yes.
Where, accidentally you make a phone call because you put your phone in your back pocket and then some numbers are pressed and then it makes a phone call.
Yeah.
But then again, it is accidental.
Yeah. And by the way, bum is a British word. Bum means
Yeah.
bopper.
But.
It's-
Это очень смешно, действительно, да.
yeah. So, but in American English, bum means a homeless person. So
That's the thing.
try
So-
not to say bum dial if you're in America. Say butt dial. Or you could just say, I accidentally called you from my pocket or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. hmm Then we have a different type of phone call, which is not a very pleasant call. So, мошеннический звонок.
Да что ты, черт побери, такое несешь?
That one is a scam call. And be careful because you have to be, you have to know the person on the other line because, the reason it's called a scam because they always have something that, they want to rip you off, perhaps steal money from your account.
Yeah.
Any stories about
Yes,
that?
yes. So my grandma actually was called by a scam caller.
Wow.
And it was really bad. She almost gave this scam caller, I think it was $1,000. My grandma lives in America and I lived in England. And she received a phone call saying, "Hey, my name's Ben. I'm lost in the middle of nowhere. And can you give me some money so you can help me?"
Не может быть.
And luckily she called me to confirm. And she said, "I was about to give this person $1,000.
Oh my God.
So be careful with scam callers. I know they happen all over the world.
True.
So yeah,
But thank God it has never happened to me and hopefully
yeah,
will never, ever happen.
yeah. And if you get a scam caller, you should повесить трубку. So how would you say повесить
That would be
трубку?
to hang up.
To hang up the phone.
Exactly. Because you don't want to entertain them.
Yeah. The next word we want to introduce is отключиться или оборваться. This is,
Well, that
Something-
means to be cut off.
yes, to be cut off. And I guess this is a passive, isn't it?
It
So
is.
I was cut off.
And there are different reasons why this happens.
Yes.
Like what, for instance?
Usually like we said before, if there's a problem with the local environment or if there is, sometimes maybe rain can definitely influence or can impact mobile phone connections and internet connections. So you could be on a phone call with someone and you could just be cut off instantly.
So you lose the connection, and so, of course, you're unable to say the next few things that you'd like to say to
Yep.
the person on the other line.
Yeah, and obviously the verb to cut, it's like резать. So yeah, I guess it just means like you cut the actual connection itself.
Or there could be another problem, which we call in Russian помехи.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of similar, but this doesn't necessarily mean that you have been cut off. Notice, have been cut off. That's the present perfect passive. But this in English is called interference. Have you noticed a lot of interference on your phone calls here in Novosibirsk? Or do you have a clear phone line here?
Generally, it's clear, although from time to time there can be some kind of, I don't know, maybe coming from different wirings at home, because they send signals and it could affect the quality of your call. So it interferes.
Yeah. Well, you could have a slabý signal, which is what is a slabý signal? We have
That would be weak signal.
Yes, exactly. So let us know, guys, do you have a good signal here in Novosibirsk? To be honest, I feel I have a pretty good signal here. I think there are a lot of mobile phone masts, which are the big connection towers around here. So I've never had any major problems with my signal here. Yep.
I've never, encountered anything major.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the next word we have is mój telefon завис. So in English, we have a funny way of saying this.
So you could say my phone froze or my phone is frozen.
Exactly.
Although I hope they don't mistake it for being put in a fridge or be surrounded by ice.
Although it can also mean that as well. You could say, let's say you're on Zoom or if you're on Skype and there's a problem with your computer or with your phone, you can say, oh, my phone froze, it just stopped working. But if you're here in Novosibirsk where the temperatures get pretty cold,
that's the literal way. So your phone really, freezes.
Yeah, absolutely, it gets frozen here. So you could say, my phone literally froze.
Exactly.
Literally is like bukvalna. So you could just say that to make it extra clear that it was related to the temperature. My baby iPhone 5, he doesn't really like these cold temperatures. When it gets to minus 15, usually he will completely shut down.
Wow.
And notice I said he. We do not normally use the word he for phones, but I use the word he because it's my little baby.
But you know what? My old phone too, it froze. And that's the reason why I bought a new one here because, it didn't have enough storage in it. Plus, I don't think the OS was updated. And so, of course, there are various reasons as to why, phones, freeze.
Older phones can freeze. For instance, this phone, the iPhone 5, love it. But sometimes when you use Telegram, especially the phone calls, it freezes. Or you could also use the phrasal verb to freeze up, which means it just completely stops working. The next word to introduce is the knopka с звездочкой. This is a really useful number to know, or not number, sorry, the useful key to know on your phone. So when you're on a call with an organization, you might hear this word.
This is what we call star key.
Yeah. And what does a star? It's kind of like a...
Well, it's not like the star that that you see from above, but it's basically an asterisk.
Exactly. Or it could look like a sea urchin, which is a морской еж. Yeah. The next one is a knopka с решеткой. And there's two words for this, actually.
Exactly. In English, it may be referred to as the pound key or hash key.
Yeah, so it looks like this, essentially. So this word you will definitely hear if you're on the phone with a bank or if you're on the phone with an organization which has a automated system.
Exactly.
So press the pound key or press the hash key to continue. Yeah. And the next word is knopka выключения звука.
That would be
звука. Knopka выключения звука.
Right. That would be the mute button.
Yeah, the mute button. So what is the mute button used for?
Well, if you don't want the other person on the other line to hear what, you want to say in secret, or it could be that, you have somebody else next to you and you don't want this person to hear what you're, saying to the person who's next to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's really very helpful, especially if you work in the customer service.
Yes.
When you try to, answer phone calls coming from customers. And then if the customer is, let's say, worked up and so mad at you, then you can curse. But before you curse, press the mute button.
Make sure you press that button.
And then, oh, hello, madam. So as I was saying...
Let us know if you work in customer service, and let us know if the mute button is a useful tool in your army of tools.
Right.
The next word we have is...
Well, we're down to extension number.
Extension number. So this number is an internal number within an organization. So in Russian, you say внутренний номер. So let's say if you're calling a big organization like the IRS, which is the American tax service, like what do you say, like the налоговая служба, and usually, well, they have many people who work in this organization. So they say, please press the extension number followed by the hash key.
Right.
And then they will put you through, so they will put you through to this next person or to the person that you want to speak to. Sometimes, if someone does not pick up the phone, which is брать или взять трубку, then your phone, well, the call will go to
your voicemail,
which is голосовая почта. I personally do not really check my voicemail messages. Do you check your voicemail?
Well, neither do I. I've never done that in my life. But the thing here is, I think you're given a notification by the network that somebody called you. But every time I see that, I just, okay, somebody called me. So what?
Yeah. And if you have like a debt, if you owe a lot of money to someone or something bad has happened, sometimes you don't want to check the voicemail.
Because you want to run away from that.
Yeah. So with the voicemail, we have the verb оставить сообщение. So what would that be?
Well, that would be to leave a message.
To leave a message. And the next verb is not to do so much with voicemail, but this one is like принять, принимать сообщение. And this one,
that is to take a message.
So we use this in the context, let's say you are a secretary and the boss is not there, or the person you work for is not there. And you'd say, oh, I'm sorry, Ken. Could I take a message?
Right. So that means he will basically give this message to the boss or to whoever you're trying to call. Yeah, because the person is not there, so he's going to receive the message on that person's behalf.
Yeah, I think that's a good explanation. So that's it for today, guys. We hope you found this video useful. We talked all about phones, and these words are definitely going to be useful in your daily life. So be sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. And you can also check out our website, which is www.bigappleschool.com, where you can find more interesting videos like this one, or articles, podcasts, and more information about the courses we offer here. So we'll see you next time.